Oh, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I bring to y'all a special episode. As y'all see, I look tired. I worked all day. Um, but I feel like I have to address the situation. People been hitting me up on social media, asking me my thoughts on the Sonya Massey incident that took place July 6, 2024 in Springfield, Illinois. Don't know what I'm talking about. I don't have much time tonight to go through it and explain the video. I'm just simply here to offer my input, my take on it as an active police officer. Um, but first, let me start by saying I want to offer my condolences, apologies to Mrs. Massey's family, her loved ones, and most of all, the citizens across this country that depend on law enforcement to protect and serve them. It angers me that yet here we are, or here I am, officers across the country are talking about this. We're not being silent. These incidences. Not everybody have the platform to speak. I don't even have the platform, but I do have my podcast where I come in and say what I have to say. But it's it's anger, man. It pisses me off. Let's just be real. Let's just be real with it. It really pisses me off. And why it pisses me off? Because you have officers day in and day out that that's trying to do the right thing, that's trying to regain the trust of the community, it's trying to regain the trust of citizens across the country. Um, and what really hurts is no matter how much good we done, let's just go back to the latest incident that was major with law enforcement and the community was George Floyd. Um, since then, law enforcement has not been in the national spotlight since then. Think about when that time was election time. Is this kind of incident like such to bring a distraction, political gains? I'm not even getting into that. But what happens is now nobody cares about all the good that we done in the community and the trust that we all of the positive traction that we done gained across the country for law enforcement. Nobody cares about that because it just takes one incident like such to set us back. Because now you have officers like myself that goes out and do the right thing, but now we go have to deal with people having trust issues, and goddamn, rightfully so. Because how someone calls the police for assistance and end up dead, calls for assistance, end up a victim, calls for protection, end up getting shot and killed. I, ladies and gentlemen, it's triggering. Like, let me show y'all this because it's just been so much. Like, y'all can't see this, but there you go. Look, I just been jotting down so much stuff as it comes because it's just so much. There's so much. Like, I'm gonna try to make this short and sweet. Um, but I could go on and on. Let me start by saying this. Just because it's justified doesn't make it right. Say that again. Just because it's justified doesn't make it right. Everybody want to know what I think about it? I think it's not justified at all. Well, why you say that, K Sam? It's simple. The pot on the stove shouldn't have never been in play. It shouldn't have never been of concern. The officers shouldn't have never been in the house. Let's just go there. They shouldn't have not. No need for them to go in the house unless she invited them in and asked them to check the rest of the residents. But the concern wasn't that she thinks somebody was in her house. The call of service was a prowler around her residence. So I jotted down some key points that I want to talk about um with that I saw in this video, and I watched it multiple times. The big controversial topic right now is whether she threw the pot or whether she didn't. Um she did throw the pot. I just watched a video where somebody broke it down in slow mode. She in fact did throw the pot. But again, that shouldn't even got to that point, because why are you worried about the pot on the stove? But we will get to that point. So let's go. So July 6th, Sonya Massey calls 911 for potential prowler outside her residence. Um, so after the officers go around and check the residence, they knock on the door to let her know, hey, we checked, everything is fine. Here are my concerns with the police actions. Again, so they knock on the door. So this is 1 o'clock in the morning. This lady already thinks somebody is trying to break in her house. Somebody is snooping around her house. They knock on the door, and it took 2 minutes and 53 seconds into the video for her to finally say something to the door. And then they respond with who they are. So here's my problem with that. You get a call for a prowler at somebody's house at 1 o'clock in the morning, and you go and bang on that door. If she would have started shooting through the door, thinking somebody was trying to break in, she would have been justified, because they didn't announce who they were. She already thinks somebody is around her house, and y'all banging on her front door without identifying yourself. That's my problem with that. 4 minutes into the video, she answers the door. First words out of her mouth, I said first words, but one of the key phrases out of her mouth was, please don't hurt me. Officer's response, why would we hurt you? You called us. That showed otherwise. So then about 6 minutes into the video, me personally, from training and experience and dealing with people of mental crisis, I could instantly tell that she was going through some type of mental crisis, just based off of some of her behaviors and some of her statements. And it's something she said. She said that so she couldn't answer the questions of what she needed help with. So she mentioned that I need help, but she couldn't articulate what she needed help with. But then she kept repeating, please God, which to me, I'm kind of like, okay, why is she saying please God? Like, what you need help with? Like, what's going on? So that was kind of concerning, because that's not normal for somebody to be having a conversation and just start calling out to God continuously, without being or able to articulate what they need help with. So some mental concerns start to arise. Then they asked about the vehicle parked in the driveway. She said it wasn't hers, that somebody dropped it off. So I don't know at what point of the officers' investigation, if they want to say that, changed, but then they started asking her for ID. So then they go into the house. So here's the kicker. Why did the deputies feel the need to ID her for a prowler call when she was the reporting party? Me, Officer K. Sam, I felt there was no need to do that. Dispatch knew who called. Like, why you needed to ID her? So again, if they didn't feel the need to ID her, that call should have been over with at that front door. No matter if you even felt that she was having mental crisis. If you couldn't articulate that she was a danger to herself or others, then she could be crazy in her house. That's fine. Be crazy in your house if that's what you choose to do. So it wasn't no need to go in the residence at all. None at all. Why you need her ID? So then, she's digging around. You could tell they kind of, again, as law enforcement, I get it. I don't like people just digging around, especially in your comfort zone, whether it's your car or your house, because I don't know what you got. You know what's what. I don't know. So you can tell they start to show some concern about her all her movements, and they said, "Hey, let's do one thing at a time." Then they asked her last name, and she hesitated, and the officer said that you shouldn't have to think about your last name. And then here's what a pot comes. I don't know why this deputy felt the need to show so much concern about the pot. The pot wasn't causing no fire hazard, wasn't smoking. It wasn't, the pot was just on the stove. Again, they introduced the pot into the situation and tell her to go turn off the pot or go check on the pot because we don't want no fire while we're here. So what a normal person would do is either cut off the fire or take the pot off the stove or do both. Put the pot in the sink. If you don't want it on the stove, put it in the sink. And one officer backs away. And she asks him, where are you going? And he was like, oh, I don't want you to throw no boiling water at me. And all she says was, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And that triggered them. So how is her holding the pot of boiling water leads to deadly force being introduced? It's me personally, again, she's no suspect. You have no criminal offense. You have no reason to honestly be in her home. Y'all just don't understand how bad this irritates me that I'm having to talk about this. And the way he handled her was, you better not, I'll shoot you in the fucking face. I swear to God, I'll shoot you right in your fucking face. And she let goes the pot, put her hands in the air and says, I'm sorry. And that was her final words. Her final moments was, I'm sorry. And this officer, and she comes back up, y'all saw the video, so I'm not even, but, so you shoot her because she threw the pot. She, in fact, did throw the pot. But there was so many other options that now, since you brought yourself into the danger, you created the danger. So you can't say you feared for your life because you created the danger. Time and time again, law enforcement officers put themselves in a dangerous situation that creates unnecessary danger, if that makes sense. An example of that is officers jumping into moving cars or standing in front of a car when they trying to stop a suspect. Why would you stand in front of a car that somebody has a capability of driving away, and then you want to start shooting at them and talk about, oh, they tried to run me over, I was in fear for my life? That's BS. And here's the thing about that whole saying, I was in fear for my life. Society don't want to hear that no more. We lost that as law enforcement. That is dead because it's been utilized so much in nonsense situations like this that people are numb to it. Every call, deadly force encounter, you can't justify that by saying I was in fear for my life. Sometimes you just have to do that, use deadly force to stop a threat. But I was in fear for my life of Baltimore. Bro, you could have ran out the house. I told somebody this when I was talking about it. If she would have presented that water with me, be like, man, you know what, Miss Massey, you have a good night. I don't care if she would have threatened to throw it at me. Hey, I'm gonna throw this pot of boiling water at you. Cool, you got it. I'm out. You need anything? You and your boiling water can stay where y'all at. I'm out. We done our job. Nobody around your house. Bam, you good. I'll give you an example. I had a call the other day where this guy called and said that somebody shot at him. So I'm like, man, he only called saying he shot at him. It was on a busy roadway, and you just walking and like, I was like, man, this dude trying to ambush me. So I got in the area, bam, I passed him up. So I passed him up, then I stopped. I was like, hey, man, come, what's up? Come holler at me. You call somebody shooting at you, come over here. He freaking out. Buddy runs across the street. Man, I'm not chasing you. Hey, bro, you call me. You need my help. Bye. Bam. Deuces. Dispatch, you can clear me from this call. Because If I go chase him, he calls me, something happens, and now I'm gonna look like the bad guy because how this man calls me for help, saying somebody shot at him, and then he ended up being a victim of something that I done for whatever reason. So it shouldn't have got to this point to where we even having this conversation, because they shouldn't have been in the house from jump. Let's get to this render aid. I don't understand how law enforcement these days are, bro. We see it time and time again where cops get hemmed up for not rendering aid. This is a human being that, whether it was justified or not, you shot her. I don't care, head shot, stomach shot, knee shot. We have to render aid. And for him to stop his partner and say, no, it's a headshot. She's done. There's nothing we could do for her. But then the medics come and then transport her. So just think about that little bit of time. Those couple minutes could have been the most crucial minutes, whether or not she could have survived it or not. But we'll never know because he chose just to walk around and huff and puff and try to build his victim story of, oh, she could have threw this boiling water on me. He said it. Here are his quotes to try to justify. He says, man, I'm not taking boiling water to the head. It came right at our feet. It's nothing we could do. But then again, I watched the video multiple times and you can see the pot land on the black computer chair that's right there at the corner of the little wall right before you get in the kitchen. Here's the wild part. When he talks to his sergeant, the sergeant asks him, where's the gun? She came at me with boiling water, Sarge. She came at me with boiling water. She said she rebuked me in the name of Jesus and came at me with the water. So was you getting rebuked in the name of Jesus the issue? So he goes outside and the officer asks, any idea on the suspect? The officer who shot responds, says, me. Here's the unhumane part, bro. He says, I'm good. This fucking bitch is crazy. I think she set it up on purpose. I didn't have a fucking choice. We barely got missed. Mr. Grayson, because you're not a deputy anymore at this point, but Mr. Grayson, you full of it. You are full of it. Yes, we could all agree that she was in a mental crisis. Doesn't deserve her to get shot and killed over boiling water. I had this discussion with one of my boys, and I was like, that's a bad shoot. Boiling water? Like, you had other options besides straight deadly force. Whether you chose to stay there or not, you had a way out of the danger. And that's what we have to look at. Now, if y'all was pinned in the corner in the bedroom and she's like got y'all trapped and pinned, and it's like, I'm not letting y'all out this room. I'm not letting y'all out my house. I'm gonna throw this boiling water on you. Cool, I get you. You don't have no other choice. You had plenty of other choices. You could have walked out the door that was right behind you. How about that? And this lady would be alive with her family and with her kids if it wasn't for the negligence of human life by this officer. So I just saw this too on TikTok that Mr. Grayson pled not guilty. So you really have the audacity to know what you done. You know you messed up. He knows it. And then he pled not guilty. So that just goes to show what type of mentality he has. He shouldn't have been in law enforcement. They say he's been with 5 agencies in the last 3 years. That's a flag right there. 5 agencies in 3 years. But that's the problem we're having in law enforcement, ladies and gentlemen, is nobody want to be a cop. So these agencies are just looking for bodies And when you have people that are certified, that the department don't have to spend money on sending them to police academy, and they already a certified police officer, especially with years of experience, they overlook all that stuff of why you left your last agency. Why we are your fifth agency in the last 3 years. What's happening right here? Um, and I'm just trying to recap on all the stuff that I had discussions with people over the past whatever couple days since this came out. I had to shut down somebody on Facebook because she was saying that essentially she was trying to say that we trying to make Sonya out to be completely innocent and like she didn't do nothing wrong and the officer just murdered her and she's not completely innocent. And I was like, BS. She is completely innocent. Without a doubt. She's completely innocent. That lady should still be alive today. Here's what this is going to cause. It's going to hesitate for people now to depend on law enforcement to help them. Because how can you genuinely depend on somebody that's there to protect and serve without worrying about you being the next victim? And it's happening time and time again. And as law enforcement officers, we cannot get mad at them when they throw this in our face. We cannot. We got to take this one on the chin, just like all the other ones. But we got to continue to be true to the profession and do it for the reason why we signed up to do it. And they have many great officers. I guarantee you, they have many officers that's speaking out on this incident, or should be at least. I know I saw a couple. So don't think that as law enforcement, we are supporting this type of behavior. I only saw one dude who's not even an officer anymore, but he said it was justified because she threw the pot at him, which I said in the video, yes, she did. But if we at that point, yes, it may be justified that he could use deadly force, but it shouldn't have even got to that point to where that should have been a decision of whether or not he needed to use deadly force. I'm sure I'll probably have to do some follow up with this. I just felt that I had to have a response to this. I apologize if I didn't hit some topics or I didn't say some things that people wish I would have said. I've been up since 4:00 in the morning, worked all day. As y'all see, I'm in a different setup because I just have to move all my stuff from downstairs because my little boy about to go to bed. And I'm just trying to put this all out there and trying to make sense of this. Honestly, trying to make sense of this, and as it should concern everybody. And we're not even making this about race. Time and time again, yes, it looks like it's always the same thing. It's always the African American community on the bad end of these incidences involving law enforcement. But don't be blinded by what the media and social media want y'all to see. It's not happening just to black people. I promise you. Go to police activity on YouTube, and I guarantee you daily, they are putting out officer-involved shootings. Justified or not, they are putting them out daily across the country. I guarantee you it's not just black people getting killed by law enforcement. So don't get don't get caught up in that narrative. I don't care if Miss Sonya was Hispanic, purple, whatever race, young, old, sane, insane, psychotic, bipolar. It doesn't matter. She should still be here today. So I stand with y'all in anger about this incident because it shouldn't have happened. And I'm just upset as y'all are. I'm with y'all. So as an active police officer, I do not agree with this killing of Sonya Massey by whatever his name. I don't even want to say his name because he's a disgrace to the profession. But ladies and gentlemen, that's it, man. That's I'm sure I have more to say at some point, but man, it's about time for me to go to bed. Man, I love y'all. Y'all be safe. Thank y'all for all the support. Leave some feedback. Don't be shy to comment. If you don't agree with something I said, let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation. Don't be scared of the open dialogue. I want to hear from y'all. Let's learn and grow together. Make sure you check out the latest episode though of Step Into the Boots. Part 2 of that is coming. But that is all. Y'all be safe out there.